Putin's scary. You know? Putin's bald. He's 5'7". He knows jujitsu. He's like Russian Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Yeah. Except he didn't apologize for his N-words. But anyway, yeah, he means business, that guy. Yeah, 5'7". You don't want to fuck with a short guy. Those guys are angry, they're motivated, you know, and he's never going to apologize. He's not going to be the bigger man. But anyway.
A lot of people don't realize there's a lot of similarities between America and Russia. You know, we're not that different, right? You like Russian brides, we like Russian brides, you know. You like bombing Syria, you know. It's fun, isn't it fun, you know? Putin controls your country, Putin, you know,
Vladimir Putin was controversially re-elected president of Russia on Sunday. Apart from Putin, there were three other main candidates. Dmitry Hedblonovsky, Ivan been shot in the face, and Boris poisoned.
But before I go, I'd like to leave you with this thought. The Russian hacking scandal continues to dominate the news. So let's have a think about Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is a very clever man. In fact, Vladimir Putin is so clever, I think the guy we see on TV, I don't think that's Vladimir Putin. That's the front guy, the guy put there to take the assassination attempts. Why would Putin, if he's so clever, be there himself? I think Vladimir Putin is a very old cobbler in St. Petersburg. And once a week, the Russians go down there and ask him what they should do. And he always insists on finishing the shoe that he's working on. Invade Turkey. Maybe out in Siberia somewhere there's a lumberjack living in the middle of nowhere with a big white wolf. And that wolf is Vladimir Putin. Or, what's the photo you always see of Vladimir Putin? He's naked from the waist up and riding a horse. Perhaps Vladimir Putin is trying to prepare us for the fact that he is a centaur. One day you'll switch on the news and there'll be Vladimir Putin galloping into the United Nations and taking a 2-minute long piss. He taps out a message with his hoof until someone informs him that he has a mouth and can speak. Vladimir Putin says that he doesn't care and that this is also what the hoof message will say when they translate it. Vladimir Putin will ride himself to victory in the Cheltenham Gold Cup. And one day his advisor will say, Vladimir, you're not a centaur, you're an old cobbler who is losing his mind and happens to run the world. And the old cobbler doesn't answer because he is flirting with a woman's torso that he has stitched onto a dead horse. Of course, the old man doesn't have the strength to stitch a dead woman onto a horse or the faculties to know any different. So what he's actually flirting with is a porn mag that his advisor has tied onto a Labrador. And the advisor leaves to go back to Moscow and do what he does every week, to try to make sense of the orders he has received, unaware that he is, and has always been, Vladimir Putin.
I'll say a line, then you translate it.
Okay.
Okay, Putin.
Putin.
Нормально.
You're good.
Okay. There was a picture of him on a horse with his shirt off.
Я видел картинку, как он на лошади без футболки.
And everybody was making fun of this picture.
И все смеялись над этой картинкой.
But I don't think it's funny. I think it's progress.
Я не думаю, что это смешно, я думаю, что это прогресс.
Because Catherine, the emperor or the Queen Catherine,
Королева Екатерина,
right.
Queen of England, yeah.
She used to get fucked by the horse.
Ее как-то выебала лошадь.
And now your leaders are riding it, so that's good.
И теперь наш лидер на этой лошади, поэтому это заебись.
If Russia was to invade the UK, I want Millwall away fans guarding our borders. right? I want them lined up on the cliffs of Dover, shirts off, arms stretched out, shouting at the Russian Navy. Oh, the f***ing hell are you? Vladimir Putin is a wanker, he's a wanker. Oh, you shot me, have you? Ah. Nothing a little bit of Charlie can't sort.
I would love to see Russia try and invade South Africa. I think that'd be hilarious because I've never seen a tank on bricks before. I imagine it would go something like they'd come to invade, they'd be here for about 3 months and then go back to Putin and say it was horrible, no water or electricity for 3 months. Every time we put up tents, they stole them.
You need to know that Ukraine will never surrender, and I have an example how much we unite. I have a friend, she was very depressed before war, and I met her like a couple of weeks ago and asked how it feels now, apparently difficult, and she said she even thought about suicide before war. And now she said, no, I feel much more better. I asked why. She said, because now I don't think about suicide. I'm thinking about how to kill Russians. And thank you, Putin. You saved my friend. For me, this is the best example how Ukrainians unite against Russia, because people ready to delay suicide. She literally moved her deadline to see Putin's deadline first. That's